Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is of course 2023 and I'm still your one and only CA Malebo Ngobeni on Stain World. Today we are going to a radio interview at the local radio station. It's Hope Alive FM. They don't have a frequency as yet, but it's online. So we just arrived and this is the guy that will be interviewing us, Mr. Masuku, and this is Tepi. Yeah.
So kuhle makunjalo. So wow, we have our candidate advocate, if I were to put it in they will put it in the good context, and then also it's Malebo Ngobeni. Minjani sisi?
Akwana minjani?
Mikahle?
Ayivukile.
Isikwemba sikatekisi. And then we also have Tsepiso Oliphant. Lishonile nabakithi mshana.
Yebo baba njani?
Asibonge.
Ayisiphi.
Thank you so much. Guys, last week it was all that and this and that, Boksburg this, Boksburg that, and everything. But after a week or after 3 days, we have learned that the court released the driver. Then they've cited their reasons why and everything. Now, the question thereof is that how that as a layman, the explosion happened because of the truck, and if the truck was not there, regardless of the precautions that the driver tried to alert people and everything, but if that truck was not there, 18 people will be still alive. So, but the court says the driver is okay. There's nothing wrong with the driver. So, guys, let's help somebody like me who does not understand the legal minds or the legal processes. How then on earth this matter? How do we begin to make somebody to understand? And you at home, you can still engage with us. Our WhatsApp line is 067-153-1089, or you can send us a voice note or a text. You can also call us, not video call, Bazalone, not video call. And then also, we are live on Facebook, Hope Alive Radio Station. You can send us a text there. Sikonake na ku Twitter, Hope Alive _radio. Slapo, Instagram, sisalelani, Hope Alive Radio. So, I don't know which one will go first. We'll start with you, Malebo. Make us understand this.
Okay, I think before I start, let me just greetings everyone, and also to pass my sincere condolences to the families that have lost their loved one in the tragedy, as it was indeed like a horrific event. When we speak about matters such as this one, we should start back with understanding where it comes from in law, which is part of a criminal law. It's a criminal law matter, and in order for you to be criminally liable, there are elements that must be proven beyond reasonable doubt. And the prosecution has to make sure that those elements are proven beyond reasonable doubt with proper evidence before the court of law. So before they can go further with arresting someone in cases such as this one, which is culpable homicide, there must be a consultation with what we call the NPA, the National Prosecuting
Going back to the elements that must be proven in a criminal matter. Okay, you must make sure that there was an act that has been performed, and the act has been unlawful, and that there was a causal link between what happened and the result of whatever the act of the driver and fault. Now, I'm not going to go in depth into all those four, but what is in question now, it's the fault part of it, because within the fault element, there are like two types within the fourth element, which is intention and negligence. Negligence is what we call the culpable homicide. Yes, I think my colleague can tackle further the culpable homicide.
Okay, thank you, learned colleague. Greetings to everybody, all the listeners. Thank you for having us, Mr. Masuku.
Yes, you're welcome.
And deepest condolences also, as my colleague has said, to the families who've lost their loved ones. Okay, also just in a broad sense, I think what my colleague is also trying to allude on is that there's processes in law that have to be followed. She was alluding to the legal side of things that led to where things stand right now.
Yes.
People are asking themselves, how come this person did this, kanjani? So she's trying to explain the whole process of how this person is to be dealt with according to the law.
Yes.
The Constitution advocates for the rights of everybody. Everybody has rights. Accused person has rights. The driver, in this sense, was an accused person, and there's rights in the Constitution as to how that matter, or how the rights of that person going forward should be dealt with.
Yes.
It's not only the rights of the people who were affected by maybe the death toll, or the family members who lost their loved ones, but the driver also, as an accused person, has rights. And I think that's what mostly we're struggling to come to terms with, the fact that even a person who's accused of wrongdoing has rights, and those rights have to be upheld according to law. And to go back to what my colleague was discussing about the charges actually, like a culpable homicide. Those are the charges. One of the charges, if I'm not mistaken, that the driver was charged with was culpable homicide. Malicious damage to property.
Yes.
Those are just legally. You have to legally. Those things have meanings, and when we go deeper into it, we understand why the things stand as they are.
So okay, because what I'm struggling with here is that people died. Hence, I mentioned earlier on to say, if the truck was not there, they will be still alive. That particular act, who must take responsibility? Who must be charged? I was saying the company, because here is let me paint another scenario. I'm a bus driver. It happens that because the government is corrupt, there are potholes, we report, they don't fix them. I don't know. I hit the pothole. I lost the control of the driver or of the bus. They died. Will the case be the same to say there was a pothole, and maybe there's no sign that says there are potholes on this road? Will then be, it will be the ruling will favor me, as in this case, because as much as he mentioned, he went to, according to the statement, he went to the police station and say, guys, this is a situation. And when people were trying to get into that, to try to be the first to report the incident, and then he asked them to move away, they did not, and then they died. But the fact of the matter is, if we track being echo la payana,
I'll draw back to what my colleague also mentioned. She spoke about negligence. And also she mentioned how the prosecution has to prove your case beyond reasonable doubt that indeed you are guilty of the crime that you are charged with. So what should happen then now, since you are concerned so much about the fact that the truck was there, the driver drove it there, there's a whole lot of things that need to be looked at, which is why there's a court case. What happens is that a court case, it must be prepared for. Now, the defense attorneys, which will now be the attorneys of the driver,
Yes.
they will have to prepare a defense so tight that they prove that beyond reasonable doubt this man did not, they must just cast even little doubt on the fact that he committed this crime, or his negligence is reduced proportionally to what he actually. So this is what we call contributory negligence. I think maybe my colleague will allude further. Contributory negligence. They will look at how much at fault he was. So when he signed his employment contract, right, he was when this tragedy happened, he was within the scope of his employment, right? So when he signed his contract, in there, in my understanding, as a driver, there's predetermined routes that you must follow.
Yes.
A truck that is carrying such precious cargo like that one, you don't just drive anywhere.
Yes.
Okay? So there's predetermined routes, and those routes should be followed by a driver. So according to my understanding is, my late uncle was a truck driver. He actually passed away driving a truck.
Yes.
He passed away during a tragedy almost similar, if I can say, but far from it, but he just passed away in an accident, truck accident. So the predetermined routes is that when a driver diverts, there's supposed to be alerts on the end of the owners of the vehicle, the tracking company, the people who are in charge of ensuring that the vehicle is in mint condition. Those people are supposed to get alerts when the driver diverts in any way. So according to my understanding is that the company and the driver, and this is up to the defense attorneys, by the way. These are points that should be, if I was to be approached to be a defense attorney for this driver, these are the points that I would raise. I would say not only was I the driver, but according to my employment contract, I was driving on the route that I was told to drive on.
Yes.
Right? The company should have known that the bridge wouldn't carry. The bridge wasn't enough in terms of height to carry. Yeah, to carry in terms of weight. Sorry, to carry.
Wait.
Oh, yes.
Now, it's stipulated in the company, in the contract, right? This is the route, and now I'm driving. I'm a qualified driver, and when I was doing my learners, I was told about road signs, right? And then on the bridge, it says, I think it says 4 meter high. I think it's 4 meter to 4.8 height, right? That's what it's there. Now I see that, and my truck is 5.2 meter high. As much as I'm instructed to go through that road, for me, as a person who's a qualified driver, because before they gave me the contract, my qualifications of being a driver were verified. As much as it's the instruction that is coming from the employer to go there. But what about me as the driver? Yes, you may continue.
Okay, I was still going to that. The fact that they considered that the duty that is upon you as a road driver, you're a road user, and there's rules that you must apply to, right? You must adhere to those rules.
Yes.
As a road driver, you must be mindful of the signs, obviously. So if it's up to the court to decide how much of a percentage they pin on him in terms of criminal liability, since it's a criminal charge. So if he is to be held 40% liable for the whole criminal charge, right? He is going to be held accountable, considering those road signs that he should have had the duty, to be mindful of.
Malebu. This driver. So now he's free and people died. Who must be responsible of this whole thing now? Is the company responsible? Or the company is out?
Well, according to the law, he's not really free because there's still investigation that has to be made. Maybe I should draw back to making the listeners understanding as to why the charges were dropped.
Okay.
Remember, when I started, I did mention that there must be a consultation with the NPA. Well, it was confirmed according to the media because there's no actual case as yet that has been issued out to the public. So we're solely relying on social media and what the updates. So it turns out that there was no consultation that has been made to the NPA. So the police made the arrest out of their own instructions, maybe from the commander or whoever is in charge, and that was unlawful. So it could go
Now
back
go.
to-
Okay. How?
It's because they have to get directions from the NPA. It's a serious matter. The NPA is the one that has to make directions.
So there are selective cases that go to the NPA. There are cases that, like, if I slap you, then they can just someone arrest me without the consulting the NPA. Nakona depending nguba.
Well, remember this as now a state case because with that one, it's me going to the police station saying, Mr. Masuku, whereas with this one, it's now involving state organizations, maybe. For instance, here it could be the ambulances, the firefighters, try the rescue team.
So are you saying, as a police officer on the scene, looking at the case, I'm not supposed to arrest? I'm not supposed to open a case? I need to wait for somebody to open a case?
No, you do the proper whatever that they've taught them to do, like taking factual statements as to what happened, but then that docket has to be submitted further to the prosecution.
So you don't make arrest on the like on spot.
On spot.
What grounds do you make that arrest as a police officer? Do you have a strong case to proceed?
So what happened? If I'm driving, I cause an accident and people died on the sea, and then they arrest me there. It should
open the case. That's the first.
Even
Exactly.
Who opened the case? Because with this one, the state is the one that had to open the entire case because now it involves public resources and everything. So
if I feel that, or if I see based on my judgment, now should I arrest this or not? But if I don't arrest this person, what if abaleka?
That's why they teach them to take evidence on the scene. So for theirs, at that particular point, it's to take evidence. Maybe take photos of what happened, ask witnesses around, ask their addresses, where they live, and it's up to the witnesses to give proper information because that would be against the norms, against the law, to give false information.
So on a roadblock, I have something. They arrest me. They should not arrest me, according to.
There's something.
Eh?
There is something.
Something which is na babantu bafile. There's something na babantu bafile. Come on, guys.
The procedures.
Let's take a short break. We'll be back. In the meantime, you can send us a text or a WhatsApp or a voice note. Ku Facebook sikona Hope Alive Radio Station. Ku Twitter sikona Hope Alive _radio. Sikona futhi na ku Instagram Hope Alive Radio. Ungasendela ke voice note, ungasendela I text ku WhatsApp na ku Facebook, because we are live on Facebook. Sizawubuya ake sithumela umntana e-shop bese siyabuya.
You're listening to Hope Alive.
At Hygiene.
To Hope Alive.
Wow, welcome back. We're shaping minds for a better future. This is Pushing Boundaries. We are back with a bang. So now, with this discussion, I feel like I need to go back to the police academy and ask them ukuthi kahle kahle i-curriculum yenu ihamba kanjani, because le case le for me how come bang, and how many cases of this nature? I know a lot of especially rape cases, people will be scot-free because they say they did not collect the tangible evidence that is that we're looking for. Now the question is, in that context, who to be blamed? How? So the NPA know nothing about this case,
Basically.
so
They only know now that
and the possibilities of them going back and doing investigation.
now they are on investigations. It's only now that it has been submitted to the prosecution, so they are starting everything.
What should have
Fine.
initially been done?
Yes.
So possibilities of this case being actually resurface are very slim.
Yeah, slightly.
So what are the contributing factors towards this? Because this is not the first case. There are a lot of cases like this where you will be told that the evidence, like the recent case, I think it will resume this somewhere in June, or if my memory serves me well, the case of the former Bafana goalkeeper Senzo Mewiyo. There are issues where they will, like where you see the evidence, how the evidence was collected somewhere somehow. So where do we go from here? How then do we help people out there? Because at the end of the day, people need justice. And now if you tell me to say this guy is scot-free, but my sister, my mother, or my father passed on, how do we bring sense to this matter?
I think that's a very important question, because right now we're dealing with lives that have been lost. I think the duty rests on, again, the state. Proper training to our police academy. because I think a lot of people are crying out there due to the police maybe misunderstanding of the law and improper. Many people, some are unlawfully arrested, and they don't even know about their legal rights at that particular point. So I think the duty still rests on the state to provide maybe proper training, or maybe at that particular point, qualifications are really important when hiring your police. I think they should look further into that. What qualifications are they using to hire our very own? Because we are dependent on these people for protection. So if we are going to hire a policeman, what qualifications do they have? What qualifies that person to be a police to protect the entire country?
You know, there's a case that I was busy with, simply because my younger brother applied for these vacancies of being a police officer and all that. Upon submission, he was told that he's working on a particular police station in Emelo. And when we tried to find out what happened, he went for an interview, the selection and everything. The only thing that he was waiting for was to be told when is he starting training. But only to find out that he went for the interview, for the everything, and possibilities are after that somebody went to the training. Also to say possibilities are somebody did not even attend the training but was placed on the employment. Yes. And there are a lot of cases like this where you will go through the selection processes and everything. When you're waiting for the SMS for you to go and start, 5 years you will wait. My thinking is that it might be the case or all these people that are there, they did not qualify to. Maybe they did not even go to this to the training. They only went straight to. Because I remember one day I was arguing to this traffic officer. Poor officer did not know that there's a grace period of 21 days after my disc expired. And I'm like, Sisi, and I asked it I asked it politely, because now me wanted to be, you see, and I like, okay, let me calm down. Could that be the reason why we have these issues? But let me not allow you to comment, yes, because now you will be implicating yourself.
Exactly.
You see?
Please,
so
I still want my admission.
But now back to the gist of the matter. Remember, I've asked a question about now, because these people died. What then happened? Who is taking a responsibility? Because people are normal, they are normal. And if the truck was not there, they would have enjoyed Christmas.
Okay, if you would allow me, I'll take it to the duty of the police officers. Maybe let me not just say that. Let me say all legal workers in the field, or legal employees in any faculty of law. Yeah? My understanding is that each and every part of the legal system, there is steps that need to be followed. Firstly, I'll explain that a crime is committed, right? There's a commission of the crime. Thereafter, the matter is reported. Let's say a case is opened at the police station, a docket is opened, the matter is handled by an investigating officer, right? That's the officer that maybe, for example, if you watch your TV shows or whatever, that's the officer that they'll investigate, that they'll ask questions about where did you get this evidence, where did this come from. So the investigating officer is the person who handles every part of all the evidence that is collected. That's the person who's supposed to know the case from A to B. After the docket needs to be completed, ne? The steps so now this is the first part. They have to hand over now to the prosecution, right? A complete docket. That means the matter is ready for trial. You understand? That's rare. When matters appear in our criminal courts, maybe an accused will be arrested. They'll have their first appearance. You find that they'll postpone for investigations. They'll come back again and postpone for further investigations. That's because the police officers are delaying on their part of work. Maybe not not delaying as such at times, but in most cases, simple cases where it shouldn't really take long to be investigating, it's because there's nobody who's actually doing the work. Like you've said, Bamasugu, there's people who are cutting corners. I think that's actually what the state should be looking at. After the case needs to be prosecuted up until the magistrate or the judge will find a ruling, whether in favor of the state, in favor of the defendant. It will be found guilty or face their music as such. But it all leads up to what the docket says. What was the evidence that was collected? What is it saying? What does it point to? Is it admissible? You see, that's a whole different game point. Yeah, is it admissible? It was collected, but was it collected correctly? Can it be used in convicting or in finding an accused person guilty before that needs to be applied?
We do have a text. Good evening. In my understanding, a tragedy has taken place. Therefore, the following could have happened. The employer was negligent if they did not notify the driver on the route, on the route not suitable for the vehicle, or the driver was negligent because he ignored warning from the employer or the road signs regarding the bridge, or the municipality is at fault because maybe there were not signs regarding the bridge. So in this case, someone will eventually be held liable. It's just a matter of time since the investigations are completed and proper charges are reinstated. So now, with what thank you so much. I think I know this number. It's Pastor Oliphant. Thank you so much, Mtanga. With what he's just mentioned, I think it's one of the things that we've been discussing. So if it happens now that let's say the sign was not there, and I think it's a municipal road, then the municipality will be the one that will be accountable, even if the driver was the one that drove the truck there.
It's up to
It's up to the state.
Yeah, it's up to the state.
It's up to this. So what happens then? Because let's say the municipality, the sign was not there. What happens then? Then the state proves that the municipality is at fault.
Yeah, look, then if the state now has proceeded and arrested the driver, they are convinced that the driver is the one who's liable for the whole accident, right? They proceed, they arrest the driver. They will charge the driver for his negligent driving. They'll consider the whole thing. So now it will be up to the driver's defense attorneys to bring the attention of the magistrate or the whole court or the whole country, since this matter is followed by a lot of people. bring the whole country, the magistrate, to the attention of the other factors that are at play, such as the absence of proper signage on the road. Then that's when the contributory negligence is considered. So if a driver will be held negligent, he'll be held, for example, 60% negligent in his part. The municipality, for example, for lack of signage, it's an example, would be held 40% liable.
Let's say, because what I want to ask or to understand, let's say that happened, and the defending team of this driver point out that the signage was not there, and obviously if the driver saw bekangeka drive lapha, but the signage was not there, and then therefore it happens to be a 70% towards the municipality and maybe 30% towards the municipality, then what then happens? Who will be arrested?
It's acquittal.
Yeah, it's acquittal on the part of the driver. The driver will not face any charges in that regard.
So then the case,
there's no fault.
Nobody is at fault. The state will fix whatever they have to fix. The
state won't be charged as a person, won't become the when you an organization becomes an a person.
No, only maybe the municipality will be called to account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, family. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's
And that marks the end of our interview. Thank you so much, guys, for watching up until the end. And I hope you enjoyed, liked, and don't forget to subscribe. For me, myself, and I, it's bye. See you in my next video. And that marks the end of our interview. Thank you so much, guys, for watching up until the end.